Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. This one was supposed to come out in the new year, but between sickness and everything else, it's taken a while. I've been sitting on this one and it's finally out. Of course, I'm going to ride the trend that everyone's doing and talking about making 2024 your year. In this case for bug bounties, but really, obviously this could be for anything to do with cyber or really any skill in general, but a lot of this channel is about bug bounties, so we're going to talk about making 2024 your year for bug bounty success, period. No matter what that is for you, whether it's bugs, whether it's meeting other hackers, whether it's hitting leaderboards, whatever it is, 2024 is going to be everybody's year, including you, and this is going to be why. So it's going to be a little bit different than just like do this thing, then this thing, then this thing, but it should be very quick. And it's just a few things I think we need to hit on. So it's going to go 4 things, and then there's kind of a 5th one, which is kind of like my plan and what I'm going to kind of my goals for this year are. But these are the 4 things that we're going to talk about today and kind of what they mean. So we'll get right into the getting started, which of course is going to be stuff very similar to what people have seen. But there's a few things I want to hit on here. Again, I get everybody is like, oh, go do Portswigger Web Academy and do this and read this book and do this thing and watch these videos. That's great. I kind of want to take a little different angle at it. So the first thing about bug bounties is there's actually bug bounties for a lot of things now that didn't exist previously. So whether that be Web3, whether that be video game hacking, whether that be reverse engineering, car hacking, binary exploitation, all that kind of stuff, you can find it. There's bug bounties for it, CTFs for it, all that stuff. So before you go just do Portswigger Web Academy, because that's what everybody says to do, maybe that's not really what you want to do with bug bounties, right? Maybe you want to do something else. Maybe you want to do hardware hacking, in which case Portswigger Web Academy does nothing for you, right? So before you just run off to Portswigger Web Academy, which is obviously on here under the improving your skills, find what interests you first, and then take the steps on the right and put it towards that interest, right? So with some of these other things, when it comes to finding people in that area, using the learning resources and staying curious, all that stuff is great, but do that in the area that you have interest in, right? So the down there in the lower right where it says explore, that's what I'm talking about. If you're interested in Web3, maybe don't do, Portswigger Web Academy, do something for Web3. I have a video on it. I'm going to make more resources on it. I'm going to go through at the end, but Web3 is going to be one of the things I'd like to learn more about this year. So if that's your interest, that's great. If it's reverse engineering, then go learn reverse engineering. If it's web, then do Portswigger Web Academy. That's why Portswigger Web Academy is still on there. There's easy ones for web, right? Web Academy, Try Hack Me, Pen Tester Lab, all this kind of stuff. There's Hack the Box. There's infinite resources out there now. There's CTFs if you want to get into reverse engineering and game hacking. I'm trying to pull together resources to do a game hacking video to try and do some of this stuff towards game hacking and like some beginner resources because I feel like no one's really pulled those together. But again, get on X or Twitter, get on Slack channels, get on Discord channels, find other people in that area that you're interested in, get learning resources from them. Again, like if you're a web person or big into that main channel of bug bounties, like critical thinking you should be listening to every episode every week, multiple times. Like it's a non-thing. You should be in the Discord. You should be talking to people. I know Nahamsek has a Discord. I know Jay Haddix has a Discord. It costs nothing to join them. It costs nothing to be in them and talking to people. And that's where everyone hangs out, is all those different Discord channels. So go join those Discords. Go get on Twitter. Go talk to people on Twitter. Again, I know there's like Bug Bounty Forum on Slack. So Slack is on there too. But the first step to getting started is some of those types of things, not just blindly going into one thing. The next thing I called gaining momentum, and I called it gaining momentum for a reason, because a lot of people either don't find the first bug and give up, or find 1 or 2 and then don't find the rest of them and kind of give up. And I feel like bug bounty, especially for beginners, is really about getting momentum. Like I don't see as many people just crash and burn in bug bounty or really get disheartened about bug bounty or disinterested after they find the momentum. It's almost always before they find the momentum. And momentum can mean different things for different people. Maybe someone just needs that first bug to really feel like they have their, foot in the door and they're going. Maybe someone needs the first 10. Maybe someone needs a certain dollar amount or something like that. It's kind of different for everybody, but you want to try and find that momentum. So you don't want to jump around a whole bunch, at least in my opinion, between some of these things, right? So collabing we'll talk about here in a second, but In each one of these categories, whether it's platforms, tooling, and niching, I would pick one or a very small group that maybe is like related and just focus on that and try and gain momentum through that thing, right? So pick a platform or target for you that interests you, whether it's the target itself being interesting or whether it's the platform being cool or cool people being on the platform or whatever it may be. Pick a platform / target that you like and try and gain some momentum on that. And it's the same thing with the tooling. Try and not jump around so much. Do a little research, and with your, getting started, the thing we just talked about last time, as you learn these tools, figure out which ones fit your style, which ones don't, and kind of stick to those. Again, project discovery should probably be something that just like everyone at least checks out. Maybe you're not super into recon and stuff, so it's just like a run of Subfinder and you don't really care and you don't do a whole bunch of like deep diving with any type of automation or stuff like that, but that's fine. Same thing with like a proxy. Like Burp Suite is out there and Burp Suite's been out there forever, but like now Kaido's making a big entrance to the scene. I've been using Kaido a lot recently on my own personal time because like I really like Kaido, and I'm going to continue to try and use Kaido, and especially when plugins really do become a thing, I think Kaido is going to have a huge push. I enjoy it a lot, but if you really like Burp Suite and you're really comfortable with Burp Suite, then stick with it. I mean, that's fine. Same thing, obviously, with the niching. Niching, I'm talking more about like what your hunting style is, as well as like, not hunting style, more as type, right? So if you're a super good dev person, you want to go in the automation game, great, go in the automation game. If you want to be hands-on keyboard, hence the hands on the keyboard, then just do that thing. And don't worry when you see someone having success in automation, because guess what? That's good for them. You can clap for them, you can be happy for them, but you're doing your thing. You don't need to jump over to automation because you saw someone post on Twitter that they made 10 grand in subdomain takeovers 1 month, right? And same thing, if you want to get into the automation game, you don't have to swap over just because someone reverse engineered, some source code that they pulled down and ended up getting, an RCE on a web platform that they did a bunch of hands-on keyboard work for. Like that's great because that's cool for them and you can still learn from that thing, but like that's not how you're trying to gain momentum. So, swapping back and forth and jumping back and forth, there's value to it, but especially when you're starting out, is you're just trying to get a grip. You want to get in, you want to gain a little momentum, and then from there you can pivot. And the last thing I'm going to say is, especially when you're trying to gain momentum, gaining momentum with others, doing the collaboration at this stage is, I think, where it should start. And I think it should be collaborating, not in a mentor-mentee relationship. You shouldn't be asking these elite hackers like, hey, can I mentor you, or will you mentor me, or whatever. It should be collaborating with people that are in a similar spot with you that want to grow together. And that, I think, will foster an extremely good relationship going forward. And I think you'll gain some really cool teammates when you all are elite hackers. This step is, again, kind of a personal opinion thing, taking ownership here. So as you continue to gain momentum, certain things will happen, just part of life, whether it be failing or getting duped or a nade or long payouts, whatever it may be. Not everything about Bug Bounty is perfect. Not everybody in Bug Bounty is perfect. And that's just life. So there's a few things as you grow in 2024 that you have to keep going the whole time. And in my opinion, it's these 4 things. So the first thing is attitude. Again, if you're here learning Bug Bounty because you think you're going to make a shitload of money, but you don't actually like it, you should really reevaluate. That's why I have the quote there. If you're not doing what you love, you're wasting your time. It's Billy Joel. It's straight to the point. I love it. If you're not doing what you love, you're wasting your time. If you don't log in, spin up Burp or Kaido, and start hacking and get a little enjoyment about what you're doing, I know everyone wants to make money. I understand it sucks not finding bugs, but if you're not enjoying the process at least a little bit, you might be wasting your time. And it's something you should consider. Same thing with balance. I argue this a ton. I've argued this in other videos. I'm going to continue to argue it. I know there's people who love to stay up and hack till the break of dawn, slam caffeine, sit at their desk all day. That's great. But there's just way too much resources and research in our modern day world that shows that getting a balance of sleep, mental work, and physical work, and spiritual work, for those of you that are interested, is just beneficial. It's just beneficial. There's just too much research out there to be like, nope, hack all night, sleep 2 hours, like just sit at your desk, eat junk food, all that stuff. figuring out your diet, figuring out an exercise routine, and getting your sleep locked in will 100% help, no matter what. Hands down, no argument. Same thing with your process. We talked about it before, right? Taking ownership of your process after you've gained momentum and your methodology and really locking in, like, this is how I hack and this is how I do things, allows you to then expand your horizon and look at, whether it's a conference talk or a YouTube video or a blog post or something like that, and you start soaking things in. You start to be that wall around your methodology of like, oh, this fits into what I do, or this doesn't, or this is really interesting to me and this is something I want to soak in, or this doesn't. You also will start to develop a bullshit alarm of like, maybe that's something you want to avoid, or maybe that's something you don't need to listen to. And refining your process of how you take in information and how you use it into your methodology is really important. The other thing, again, is failing. Is you're not going to be in this field and not fail, whether it's failing to find a bug or failing to report it correctly, or it gets, dropped down in severity or whatever. You got to be really okay with constant failure. It's totally okay, and you're going to be totally okay, but you just have to be okay with it. The last one, obviously, is my favorite slide, is dominating. There's nothing saying that by the end of 2024, you can't be absolutely dominating bug bounties. Using my slides, using other people's advice, I know there's other 2024 videos out there about doing bug bounties in 2024. I'm sure every creator is taking advantage of it, and there's different spins on it. There is nothing saying that 2024 can't be your year to go out and dominate bug bounties if this is something you're interested in. Once you are dominating, this stuff is something that as you start to dominate, I think will just always pay off. And it's something to keep in mind. So now you're doing it. You're doing the thing. You've made it. Now what? Okay. One, keep making it. That's why in the lower right, it just says dominate, right? Because you got to continue to dominate. But sharing what you've learned, how you do things, always pays off. It always comes full circle. I promise. I am a huge believer in, whether it's paying it forward or however you want to read into it. But going out and sharing your information, not only does it build a network of people who like what information you're putting out and want to be involved with you, but it just seems to always come around and pay off in the end. Same thing with helping and teaching. Not only does helping and teaching normally pay off too, similar to sharing, but specifically helping and teaching also furthers your own understanding of whatever topic you're helping and teaching. So if you get to the point where you know something about bug bounty, in this case, that maybe your friend or someone in Discord or someone else doesn't know, feel free to get involved and help and teach people, because that can only further your own understanding and foster new ideas for yourself about that idea. And then the final thing, I have pioneering down there and the little kid exploring with a map, because now once you gain a little expertise, that then is the perfect time to chart a new course, find a new CVE, find the new vuln, find a new way to do things, and expand the universe of bug bounties and cyber and everything else. And on top of all that, dominate. So that's kind of my 4 slides on how you and everybody else and anyone who watches this can dominate bug bounties in 2024. It's really not as big of a thing as people make it be. You can enjoy the process. You can do it your way. You can dominate in your own way. And I can't wait to see how all you guys do it. So for those of you who are still around, thanks for sticking around, first of all. And lastly, these are some of the things that I kind of want to do with my 2024 and my bug bounty journey. Is I did a lot of talks last year on like different kind of automation, and we released some tools at DEF CON, and I talked a lot about some of my automation frameworks and stuff like that. So obviously, lo and behold, I haven't said anything in a while, and it's, of course, normally if I stop saying something about stuff, it's because I'm cooking something, and that's actually true. So I've been working on a new framework. I don't want to call it a framework, but it's like a new thing. Obviously, I made the home lab videos. That's what I'm using the home lab for. We have some new stuff that we're cooking up, and I can't wait to show it to you guys. I want to polish it up in a certain way before I show you. That way, I have something to release to you guys, as well as something that, is usable if you guys want to kind of do it on your own. So I want to keep doing the automation stuff, but I also want to continue to learn the hands-on. I've been really enjoying going back to the basics and learning little niche stuff about certain things like debugging in DevTools and properly using Chrome DevTools and getting my way around JavaScript correctly and all the different frameworks that I've never really looked into because I didn't go the web developer to bug bounty path. I went just the normal developer to bug bounty path. And on that note, I'd also like to continue. I have my OSWE. I got it a while ago. But I've never really tried to flex my code review muscles in the bug bounty space as far as like pulling some application code down or trying to get a hold of source code and really auditing source code. So I'm going to try and utilize a little bit of that. I'm also toying with the idea of possibly getting into some like N-day or one-day like CVE, POC discovery type stuff and trying my hand at some of that too, like patch diffing and that kind of thing. So we might do some videos on that too. We might do some streams on that too. I don't know. We'll see. But I might play with that round. And then, like I said, I did a little bit of Web3 stuff last year, really liked it, and then kind of ran out of time with DEF CON right into the end of the year or into fall, into the holidays, into the end of the year type of thing. I really thought Web3 was really cool though. So I'd like to really get to the point where I'm either A, competing in some of these Code Arena or Sherlock competitions, or B, maybe checking out Immunify for some bug bounty programs. Again, I'll probably do some of that stuff on stream. I'll probably do some of the like challenges and CTFs on stream or make videos about them. But that's kind of part of my plans as well. So this video has been about 16 minutes, 17 minutes. Thanks for you guys who stuck around. Dominate 2024 bug bounties. I'd love to hear about all your dominations, any bugs you find, milestones you hit, all that kind of stuff. I really hope you guys follow along with the videos, with Twitter, the Discord, stuff like that. I'm hoping, of course, with 2024 to have a bunch of new content. In my IRL stuff, I coach a hockey team. So a lot of my evenings are really busy right now, but hopefully in a month or two here, the streams are going to come back. And we're going to try and get 2 or 3 weekly streams and do that kind of stuff. But really exciting. Thanks for sticking around, guys. Dominate 2024. Peace.